Hello all. In this lecture we'll see about NoSQL databases. So this is entirely different from relational database. So in this lecture we'll see what is this NoSQL database, what are the features of NoSQL database, and also the different types of NoSQL database. So we have four types of NoSQL database. We will see a brief introduction, and in the next lecture we will see an example of each of these four types. So NoSQL database. So this is also called not only SQL. So this is known as not only SQL database. So what we have studied is about relational database management system (RDBMS). So we have seen how to form relations and normalize those relations. You have seen SQL queries to retrieve all this data. Everything you have already seen. So this is entirely different from. So that is why it is known as not only SQL database. So it is a non-relational database management system. It is meaning is that it is non-tabular database. So what we have seen is all tables. We have different tables in our database. There will be some SSN name like that, salary like that. There will be different field column values, and it is in a tabular format. But in NoSQL database, they don't have this tabular structure. Okay, and this stores data differently than relational database. It is entirely different from those relational database. So there is no fixed schema at all. There we have a fixed schema. In relational database we have a fixed schema. Here we don't have a schema. There are no join operations. All these things are missing in this type of database. Most and also NoSQL databases are distributed databases. Distributed means it will be located in several different locations. Okay, it is mainly suitable for big data, real-time applications, and all. We can use this NoSQL type of databases. Okay, now this is the difference. These are the main differences between relational and NoSQL databases. So here, relational database, we have powerful query languages there. We have seen SQL queries and all. Here it is very simple query language. Then in relational database, we have a fixed schema. Here there is no fixed schema. That is, there is no fixed table definition. Then it follows ACID property. That is atomicity, consistency, isolation, durability. Here it is only eventually consistent. In every time it won't check for whether it is following those acid properties. Finally, the state will be consistent. That is why it is known as eventually consistent. Okay, in between it may not be consistent, and finally it will be the database state will be in a consistent database state. Okay. Then in relational database, we have already seen there are transactions. Here it does not support transaction. It is not true in all the cases. In some databases, there is some limited support for this transaction also. Okay. So actually, it is for structured, semi-structured. This NoSQL database supports structured, semi-structured, and unstructured or polymorphic. All these kind of data is supported in NoSQL databases. Okay. So we'll see some of the features of this SQL. So before going into that, why we should go for this NoSQL? Because internet, we know that Google, Facebook, Amazon, they have huge volumes of data that have to be used. So for that, it is good to use this kind of NoSQL database rather than going for this RDBMS. So RDBMS becomes slower when you use RDBMS type of database in those Google, Facebook, and all. That the retrieval will be slower. So if we use this kind of NoSQL database, we can execute all those queries much more faster or much more quicker manner, and also we can scale up. Scaling up will be much more easy in the case of NoSQL database. Okay. So we'll see some of the features of NoSQL. So first one is non-relational. We have already seen it is non-relational database. That is, NoSQL databases never follow the relational model. Okay, it never provides tables with flat fixed column records. There is no fixed column kind of records and all in NoSQL. Then it doesn't require data normalization. We have already seen normalization and all. Here there is no normalization kind of thing. Then there are no complex features like query languages, query planners are not there, then referential integrity, joins or ACID properties, all these things can be are not there in this kind of database, NoSQL database. Then it is schema free. Schema free means there is no SQL databases are either schema free or have relaxed schemas. There may be some schemas, but in some cases there won't be any schema at all. Schema means the table definition. We have already seen relational. We have to define that schema. What all attributes are there? What's the size of that attribute? Everything should be fixed. Here there is no such kind of fixed thing. And here we do not require any sort of definition of the schema of the data. Then it offers heterogeneous structures of data in the same domain. That is, we can have different kinds of structures. We can have graphs, we can have tables, any kind of structures, whether it is structured or unstructured, any kind of documents, everything can be stored in this database. Then we have a simple API, that is application programming interface is simple because we can easily query or we can do all these manipulations in a web interface manner. So it offers easy to use interfaces for storage and querying data provided. And another feature is it is distributed. It is distributed means multiple NoSQL databases can be executed in a distributed fashion. That means the database itself is distributed. So the advantage is we can have this auto scaling, failover capabilities, that is fault tolerance capabilities there. Even fault occurs in some point of the network, the database will be replicated in some other place, so data won't be lost at all. And also often ACID concept can be sacrificed for scalability and throughput. So we can sacrifice this ACID properties for the scalability and throughput. Scalability means we can scale to any levels. If we want to add more data, it is possible. If we want to add some more hardware, it is possible. And it provides only eventual consistency. We have already seen most of the database do not support, NoSQL database do not support this ACID property, but there is eventual consistency because our database states should be consistent, otherwise there will be some errors. So every time it won't be providing this consistent state, eventually it will be consistent. So that is why it is known as eventual consistency. Then we'll see types of NoSQL databases. We have mainly 4 types of databases. We can categorize into 4. One is key value pair based. Then second one is column oriented base. Column oriented. There is no graph and all. It is column. Yeah, you can call it as column oriented graph also. It is mainly column oriented base. Then graph based database. Then fourth one is document oriented. So we have key value pair based, then column oriented, graph based, and document oriented. So there is no graph here. Okay, it is column oriented database. Column oriented. Okay. So this is example for this is the structure of this column family. This is something graph document will be like this. Key value pair will be like this. Okay. Need not worry about the structures and all. So we mainly have 4 types of NoSQL databases. One is key value, column oriented, graph, and document oriented. So first one is key value pair based. So here data is stored in key value pairs. It is stored in key value pairs. It is designed to handle lots of data and heavy loads can be handled in this key value. So we have associative arrays. The data structure that is used is associative arrays. Also we can call it as map or dictionary. So if you have learned Python and all, you can see dictionary kind of data structure. So it is similar to this. Key value pair is similar to that dictionary kind of thing. So here we have this associative array kind of data model here. Okay, so, and data is represented as a collection of key value pairs such that each possible key appears at most once in the collection. So examples of this kind of databases are Redis, Dynamo, React. So we will see the characteristics of Redis in the next lecture. Then the second type of database is column-based database. Column-based database. Here, column-oriented database works on columns, and it is mainly used in big table. It is mainly used in Google. Okay, Google database at all. It is column-based. So every column will be treated separately. So here it is similar to appearance to the it is similar in appearance to the traditional relational database, but it's entirely different. Even though it looks similar, there is concepts of rows and columns are still here. Instead of storing data in a row for fast access, data is organized for fast column operations. So instead of organizing in rows, here data will be stored in columns. So it is ideal for running aggregate functions. We have already seen those aggregate functions like sum, minimum, maximum. All those are known as aggregate functions. So it is ideal. So if we store in column-wise manner, it will be useful in aggregate to do this aggregate kind of functions, or if we want to look up records that match multiple columns. So we are storing everything in column fashion. So these are some of the functions that we may have to do, like counting the number of results, summing them, or calculating their mean average. All these can be done easily. So these are the different column-based database, Cassandra, MariaDB, CreateDB, ClickHouse. All these are examples of this column-based database. So we will see the features of Cassandra in the next lecture. So this is the difference between this row oriented. So this was the relational database we have seen, the row oriented, and this is column oriented. So everything will be arranged in columns. So for example, GPA, if you want to calculate the GPA, average GPA, it is easier because we can simply average the column. So this is column oriented. So the database table database would look something like this. So it is somewhat similar to the previous relational database. We have rows and column concepts are there, but it is not entirely similar to that relational database. So data will be stored like this using some row keys. So actually this row keys will be indexed using that hashing function and all. So there will be some hash function, and when we find the result of that hash function, we'll get this value, and we can get retrieve those information from this database. So this is an example of this column based. Then the third type is a graph-based database. Graph-based database, because most of the things are related. So if we see a friend, if we see the Facebook, we see that there's a friend of friend will be there. People you may know, such kind of things will be shown in Facebook or Instagram. So in those databases, there is some relationship that should be shown. So it is better to model using this graph-based database. So it is used to store and navigate relationships. So relationships can be stored using this graph-based database. So relationships are the first-class citizens in, we can call it as first-class citizens in this graph databases. Okay. So example is Facebook. So Facebook, you can see friend of friends or people you may know, all these things will be shown, because if you are a friend of some other person, that person might be friend of somebody else. So that person might be also a friend. So if we can store that relationship in this database, it will be better to store it in graphical model. Okay, that is why we use this relationships to store in graph databases. So most of the value of this graph database is derived from these relationships. So it is based on these relationships we use this graph-based databases. Graph databases use nodes to store data entities and edges to store relationship between these entities. So entities will be the nodes and edges will represent the relationship between these nodes. And there is no limit to the number and kind of relationships a node can have. So there is no limit for this number and kind of, it can have many different kind of relationships between other nodes. Okay, so it is mainly used, applications are social networking, recommendation engines. Recommendation engines will use this kind of graph based database. For example, if you are purchasing something from Amazon, your friend, there might be your friend might be purchasing something else, and Amazon will recommend because you have purchased some database book. Your friend also has purchased some other book in database, so Amazon will definitely recommend you because that person is your friend. So that person has purchased some other database book. So Amazon will recommend that book to you because Amazon thinks that you also will buy the same book because he is your friend, like that. So it mainly it is used in recommendation engines. Maybe in, when you watch movies and all, if your friend is watching some movie, that movie site will recommend you also because you might have similar kind of characteristics and all. So it is mainly used in recommendation engines, and also for fraud detection also this kind of database can be used. Fraud detection means, if a person is using the same credit card number for purchasing, and if another person is using the same credit card, then we can detect such kind of frauds because there is some relationship, because two or three different persons are using the same credit card number to do buying or purchasing something from the e-commerce site. Then we can easily detect such kind of things because that credit card is being used by two or more persons. So all these can be modeled using these relationships. So these are some of the examples: ArangoDB, then Neo4j, Amazon Neptune, dgraph. All these are examples for this graph base. So we'll learn more characteristics about this ArangoDB in next lecture. So this is an example for graph space. So somewhat there will be different nodes. So Annie is friend of Sam, like this. Jack is friend of Annie. Jack is friend of Mac, like this. We will model these relationships. So this is an example for this graph base. So all nodes will represent entities, and the relationships will be modeled in the edges. Okay, it will be those edges will be showing those relationships. Then the fourth type of database is document oriented database. So here we retrieve, store and manage document oriented information. Here also we use the key value pair to do all these things. Key value pair will be based on the documents. Okay. So here it is a semi-structured data. It is semi-structured data. It is mainly written as a JSON object, JavaScript object notation. We call it as JSON object. So JSON objects or XML formats can also be used to for this document-oriented database. XML can also be used here. So JSON is a human readable data format. So JSON is a human readable data format. So these are some of the examples of this document oriented: MongoDB, Cosmos, DocumentDB. All these are examples of this document oriented. So we will see the characteristics of MongoDB in the next lecture. So this is an example for this document oriented. So here we have Tom's contact card document. So the data will be stored like this. It is stored in key value pairs, key value ID. This is the key and the value is like this. And if we want to store more relationship also, so this Tom's contact card is social media accounts. So all the social media accounts of Tom Johnson is also stored here like this. So it is a document oriented approach. Okay, so if you can see, in addition to this all these details, we have the social media accounts, the Facebook account, Twitter account, everything is stored here. So this is how we store in document oriented approach. So these are the references that I have taken. Thank you.